Today I'm going to be making something really yummy, and this is my no-bake strawberry cheesecake. So let's get on with the ingredients. We'll start off with our cream cheese. I have 8 ounces of cream cheese. This is 250 grams. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. This is 35% cream. 3/4 of a cup of regular white sugar. That's granulated sugar. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Some strawberries. 1/4 cup of butter, and I'm using salted butter in this recipe. And our last ingredient, 3/4 of a cup of graham cracker crumbs. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build the base for our cheesecake. And I have our butter here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm simply going to melt this, and then we're going to add it into this, and we're going to create our crust. So I'm going to go microwave this, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm going to take my graham crackers and the butter that I just melted. We'll just get all of that in there, and then we'll just combine that. So you could add a little cinnamon to this, or a little brown sugar, whatever you like. I've got a little cake ring here. You can use a spring-form pan if you wish, but I'm using that today. I'm just going to take all of this and get that right down in the middle, and then I'm just going to press this down. Just get it down. Now I used 3/4 of a cup of graham cracker crumbs. You can use more if you wish. Depends on how thick or thin you want the base. And just to get the middle, I'm just going to use a glass, the bottom of a glass, and there we go, perfect. So since this is a no-bake cheesecake, I am not going to bake the crust. But what I do want to do is I want to chill this down because we used butter, and when I pop this into the fridge and chill it down, the butter is going to solidify and it's going to make all of this come together kind of like a big cookie. So I'm going to pop this into the fridge, and then we're going to start on our next step. So for our next step, I've put the cream cheese in here, and this is at room temperature. I have all of our sugar here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out 2 tablespoons of this regular white sugar for our heavy cream later that we're going to whip. And right now my heavy cream is actually in the freezer because I want it to really be cold. I don't want it to freeze up, but I want it cold. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get all of the sugar in there, and I just want to cream this together. And for the cream, in order for this recipe to work, you must be using heavy whipping cream, which is at least 35%. You cannot use coffee cream, which is 10%. So you really need a heavy cream in order for this to work. Okay, that's good. I'm going to wash off my beaters now, and we're going to get on with the cream. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop this into the fridge so that it doesn't get too warm. Okay, I'm back. I'm just getting all of my heavy cream into our bowl. And there we go, that's good. Okay, just going to get my beaters going. So I did clean off my beaters, I dried them, and I actually put them in the freezer for 3 or 4 minutes. Just so that they were cold as well. So I'm going to start getting this going here. So what we want to do is we just want to whip this up. We want to get this nice and stiff so that we can incorporate it into our cream cheese mixture. So at this point now I'm going to put in all of our lovely vanilla. There we go. And just by the addition of a little bit of vanilla in cream, you have changed a regular cream into something called chantilly cream. Okay, so if you see something fancy, a fancy name, chantilly cream, you just know that it's heavy cream with some vanilla in there. Okay, and now I'm just going to put in the 2 tablespoons of sugar that we took out before, out of the larger thing of sugar. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my mixer on high, and I really want to whip this. So I'll keep whipping and I'll come back in a minute or so. All right, been mixing for a good minute and a half or so, and we'll just check that, and we've got some nice peaks going on. So at this point, I'm happy with that. So we'll get on with our next step. Okay, so there is our whipped cream mixture, and here is our cream cheese mixture. Okay, so I'm just gonna get that like that. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a little bit of the whipped cream, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly fold this in, and this is going to lighten this mixture up. Okay? So I just want to mix it all together. Now we still have our strawberries. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix all of this. Okay, so that's nice now. And now I'm just going to take the rest of this and just fold it in there. Okay, there we go. And now I'm just going to fold this all together. Okay, so now while we prepare our strawberries, I'm going to pop this back in the fridge. Okay, I've just cleaned up and we are ready to go on our next step. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to cut off the tip of our strawberry, and I'm simply going to cut it in half, just like that. Nothing else. Okay, now that our strawberries are done, I've brought out the base, and if I touch this, I can feel already in that amount of time that we did the rest of our recipe that this has actually started to really harden up, so that's really, really good. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking my strawberries, and I'm going to place them all the way around, just like this. Now remember, if you're using a springform pan, you're going to do exactly the same thing as this, just like that. So I'll whip through these, and I'll come back when I'm done. And our last one. There we go. And if you see any really, really small ones, you can exchange them for larger ones. There we go. I think that looks good. How's that look? Pretty good? So I've got them all the way around. So believe it or not, we're at the end of our recipe. Almost. We just have to fill it. So I'm going to go grab my filling, and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so I've got my filling here, and this was in the fridge while we were preparing our strawberries. So I'm just going to grab my bowl, make sure I've got a good grip on it, and now I'm going to slowly start getting this right down into the center. I don't want to knock any of these strawberries, because we do want to have a nice looking, you know, lovely final product. So just get it all down there nicely. And once the filling starts taking, starts filling up the area, then it's going to lock those strawberries into place. And then I'm going to grab my spatula, and I'm just going to start applying equal pressure, and I just want to get it all the way around. And you can push down a little bit, just get it all in there. Just like that. I'm just kind of getting, I want to try to get everything to the corners. And there we go. Beautiful. Okay, I've just zoomed in and I've just dropped the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I'll just turn this so you can see what it looks like. Now, the secret to this as well is really, really well chilling this. It has to go in at least 4, 5, 6 hours. The longer you can wait before you try to, unmold it, the better off you'll be. I'm going to leave this probably in the fridge all day, probably 6, 7 hours, okay? Now, in the pastry shop, to take off this ring, which is going to be really, really cold, we'll just take a blowtorch and just go quickly around it. But at home, what we'll use is a hairdryer. You just take your hairdryer, put it on the hot speed, or the hot, the hot setting, and then just turn and just hold your hairdryer like this and just go around, and there's enough heat there, and boom, bada bing, the thing will just slide off perfectly. In the perfect world, in the pastry shop, we actually use a little plastic lining, and I'll show you what that lining looks like. It's just a little piece of plastic, okay? And that goes around And that's for, you know, more so for the client so that all of the cake stays nice and moist and doesn't dry out. But there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this into the fridge. Also, to finish this off, you could have some strawberries with a little bit of strawberry coulis, or what you could do is you can make up some chocolate ganache, and if it's thin enough and you pour it on there, what'll happen is gravity will just completely fill that and make it perfect, just like a skating rink. It'll be absolutely perfect. Anything goes. You can do anything that you want. It's your cake, so you can do what you want. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet because I didn't say we were going to use chocolate ganache, so maybe I won't. Maybe I will. I'll let it chill and we'll see what we do later on. So, off to the fridge. Alright, my cheesecake has really firmed up and we are ready to go. This was in the fridge for a good 6 to 7 hours and we are ready to unmold it. So I've just got myself a regular hairdryer here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it on high and I'm just going to spin it around and I'm just going to slightly heat the edge of the mold. So what I'm doing here is I'm just slightly heating the edge right along here. I don't want to do it too much where I'm actually melting everything, but I just want to heat it up a little bit. Okay. I'm just going to grab a spatula and I'm just going to help it a little bit. I'm just going to go around, all the way around. I want to make sure that we get a nice clean break. There may be edges where I need, you know, certain areas where I need to just go around with the hairdryer one more time. Okay, that feels pretty good. And then, let me get you on camera here, and then we'll just, hopefully this is going to work, and I'll just lift my thing right off, and there we go. Perfect. And that looks pretty good. The hairdryer did melt a little bit of the outside. So what you can do at this point is you can put it back in the fridge and just let it chill again, and then you can cut your slice. But that looks pretty good. So there we have it. My no-bake strawberry cheesecake. Alright, we'll just cut into it. So there we have it. There's a nice slice. So I'm going to decorate that next. So I'll go get my stuff ready and I'll be back. So to just finish this off really quickly, I've taken 2 tablespoons of semi-sweet chocolate chips, 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, that's 35%. I'm just going to make a little bit of chocolate ganache. So I'm going to heat both of these in the microwave. We're going to mix them together and we're going to drizzle them right on top. So there we go. So I'm going to go microwave that and I will be back. Okay, I've microwaved both. I poured the cream into the chocolate, and now I'm just going to mix this up. Just want to get myself a nice chocolate ganache, a little chocolate sauce. So I'll just mix this. When it's all done, I'll come back. And there we go. Perfect. What I'm going to do, just for fun, I'm going to put it into a little squeeze bottle. I'll fill that up, and then we'll put it on our beautiful cheesecake. So I'll just go fill that up, and I'll be back. Alright, my chocolate sauce is all ready to go. I'm just going to get a nice little strawberry. I'll give it a nice little cut on a slant. And we'll just get that right on there. Just like that. And then just a little bit of nice chocolate ganache. And there we go. Perfect. So there we have it. My no-bake strawberry cheesecake. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.